Hi everyone and welcome to Genesis. I feel like there's so precious little time to really pause and appreciate the beauty of the garden and God's original intention for how we should live, because the fall follows so quickly after the creation of man that you're just being rushed on and you just were knee deep into all the consequences of our sin after 2 pages of the Bible. And I feel like it's so important sometimes to pause and to refer back to what was the original intention of God. So that's why I want to talk about something said in Matthew 19:8, where Jesus says, "But it was not this way from the beginning." And he does that in response to a question about divorce, where people insisted that the law of Moses made provision for that. And Jesus refers back to Genesis, where he says, God made us male and female, and for that reason a man leaves his father and mother and will be joined to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So God only allowed provision in the law of Moses, he says, because your hearts were hard, more for concession. But the original intention was different, and that's quite a few times where that happens. You will probably find countless examples of this later on as we read through the Bible, where God's original intention was different from the provisions he made for us later on. Jesus, for example, in the Sermon of the Mount in Matthew 5, he talks about the 2 commandments on murder and adultery. And he says that is really just the bare minimum standard to not murder anyone, but really you shouldn't even be angry at anyone, or you should not just not commit adultery, you should not even look at another person lustfully. So there's 2 different standards, isn't there? One that's kind of the bare minimum for a fallen world that God set us, more as a concession. And then there's the gold standard of Eden, the original intention of God and the way we should live. So for me personally, that's quite a challenging idea, isn't it? That even a lot of the things that we think is kind of the way we should live as Christians, maybe that's just the bare minimum standard. And if you think back about Eden and think about what the original intention was, the standard is actually quite a lot higher. So something to dwell about, and maybe you'll find more stories of where that happens, that the original intention is one thing and later on God makes concession to accommodate us. So if you do, please share. A couple of more things to look out for as you read through Genesis. I find it quite interesting how God refers to himself in the creation account. You'll explore that. I also find it interesting, the first death that's recorded in the Bible, and I'm not talking about Cain and Abel and what it signifies. Also interesting, the first mention of Canaan. That will become significant later when Israel is trying to settle the promised land. So yeah, keep an eye out for a mention of Canaan and what the story is there. So that's a few things for the first week. And if you have any other questions during your reading, just leave a comment and ask, and I'm happy to address that in the next video. And I hope you enjoy beginning your journey through the Bible, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.